for the first time ever, rain stop play. I don't know if it's rain or we've got a fair weather bricklayer with us. That's no, in all seriousness, I think this would be fun.
Yeah, everyone's playing paddle. It seems a bit of the trend thing to do. Rather than playing golf and get freezing, we start to take up paddle. We've also got someone who has got a bad hip, so
Waiting for a new one.
Waiting for a new hip.
Waiting for a new one.
Today we've got Lee.
My name's Lee Fuller. I'm Level Up Media and I used to own Thames Valley Brickwork and I need a new hip because I was a bricklayer for 21 years. So
we've seen Lee on LinkedIn for years. We've spoken about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lee will remember this or even ever turned up.
Hard hat in the post.
We did send you the hard hat in the post. Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Like Dan said, we followed your journey on LinkedIn. There's definitely some synergy here because we both operate in the same space. I'm excited to understand you're very transparent with your journey, not only from brickwork to marketing, but also like your sobriety as well.
Yeah. There's a lot that I don't put on LinkedIn as well. Like, I'm my open book, ask me what you want and I'll answer it, do you know what I mean? There's a lot that's gone on behind the scenes, which is why I've ended up doing what I'm doing now.
Building in public is something that Dan and I are also really keen on. So,
but construction marketing's a bit of a mismatch. People don't really get it. So we'll hit some balls and we'll chat it through.
Yeah, true.
Before we go, paddle is a 4-man game. So because we've got a marketing expert playing paddle, we get another marketing expert, our very own Lewis Ellis.
My name's Lewis and I get dragged in to do the shit no one else wants to do.
Bricklayer to brand maker.
Indeed.
How did that happen?
Long story short, my hand was forced. I had to leave the brickwork company for some personal reasons. I'm happy to dive into that. But we built a bit of a presence online, especially in the bricklaying space. We're quite well known. Left the company for personal reasons. And then I had multiple companies reach out to me on LinkedIn and said, look, can you do for me online what you've done for yourself? I was like, yeah, go on then. I accidentally built a marketing agency and I actually tried not to. Helen's my partner, business partner and Mrs. She was like, we should start an agency. So she's from marketing. So she works in the music industry for a long time. She worked with some of the biggest names in the world in marketing and in the music industry. So we built a bit of a presence online and we were just like, the stars aligned. I got asked the question, can you do it for us? And I was like, let's give it a while and see how we get on. And that was a couple of years ago now.
Everybody will know you from LinkedIn, YouTube. But what made you decide to go down the content route?
Part of my story is I went to film school when I was 27, done cinematography at Met Film. When I set the brickwork company back up at 28, I was like, we've got to lead with content, man. I'm 38 now. This is a while ago. I could see the way that the world was going, the industry was going, everything was online. If you're not online now, you're dead, man. Like, you're invisible.
Yeah.
When I done it, you didn't really have to do it. But now, if you are not in people's faces where they show up, forget it. It's done. Especially with the younger generation coming through as well.
But 2018, the cliche head of the curve, there must have been times where you doubted it.
All the time. Still
now?
Yeah, all the time, man. There's so many things we can talk about in this, but like mental health's a big thing as well, right? There's days where I don't want to get in front of camera. There's days where I think, I really do not want to talk to camera today. It's about doing anyway. And most of the industry, especially in construction, like, is so far behind the curve. Most of the industry is just like, I start one day. Consistency is a big thing, especially when you're a small to medium-sized business. There's so many other hats you need to wear. Managing staff, chasing invoices, pricing, sales calls, whatever, and content falls by the wayside. And, you know, I say to people, don't create content, just flipping document, man. Just hit record.
What worked for us, I think works for everyone with content, is you don't have to be clever or try to reinvent the wheel. It's all about getting your personal brand out of it.
Without a doubt.
Because if people see you online and go, I either do want to work that person or I don't. Because we try stuff all the time and we go, oh, Ash, what are we doing? But, you know, it gets people talking about it and some people love it, some people hate it. But we're seeing.
I've tried and failed so many times. Like, honestly, in public, like, you haven't got to look very far back to see what content works and what doesn't, right?
Oh, you want to see him on camera the first time.
The way that AI is at the minute, and AI is brilliant. I love it. I'm a big advocate for it. And we use it in behind the scenes stuff. But there's so much. You only got on your timeline on LinkedIn and see all the nonsense that's filling your timeline up, especially in construction. People are now really distrusting. So they're like, oh, what's real, what's not real? Doing this sort of content where you're just shooting from the hip, talking to camera, it's gold. I tell people all the time. Founder-led content, behind the scenes content, like, hit record and talk.
But it's uncomfortable to do it.
It gets easier though. It does get easier.
But don't you think as well, the industry actually support you with doing it? Because the feedback we get, we went to football to watch Pompey play a few weeks ago, and we're walking through the concourse, and the amount of blokes who was going, it's bloody hard to all I ever see is you on Instagram doing the, hey, kind of thing on one of our videos. They're all actually supportive of it because they're like, fair play, boys.
So I had a different experience. Again, we were a bit ahead of the curve. I started creating content. I had people messaging me saying, you're an absolute joke. You need to stop. Everyone's laughing at you. Yeah. Like 7, 8 years ago, right? I got slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered. But I pushed on and I carried on because I knew what was coming. Do you know what I mean? When you're on the scaffold and you're on site, trying to get your camera out and talk to camera without, and even when I started doing it again with Thames Valley Brickwork, I'll be hiding behind a pack of blocks, talking to camera and that, thinking, like, there's only like 5 of us on site, you know what I mean? Once you get past that, it does get easier and you start to not really care. And just going back to your point of getting recognised, my missus used to drive my work van that was sign written, and she'd have people tooting the horn in traffic, undoing the windows. You don't necessarily know who's watching. Very rarely does someone reach out to me that has liked my posts. Nearly everyone that reaches out that wants, there's a inquiring up becoming one of our clients, they just reach out. Now, the issue is if you don't post content, they can't look. So you don't look at the vanity metrics.
Yeah.
I don't look at them. It's irrelevant.
We, like, long-time listeners, first-time, like, callers.
100%.
And when they come, they're ready to buy.
Yeah.
Because they know you.
And they've decided, I want to talk to this person.
Dan and I were really, you're exactly the same, meeting you for the hour that we have today. Who you are online is who you are today. We made a conscious decision when we started doing it to be exactly the same.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because there's only so long you can put a mask on for.
100%.
And when people phone up, they're like, oh my God, yeah, it's that bloke.
Yeah, it's such a valid point, man. I'll tip my hat to both of you, not because I'm here with you, but to get two people within a business that are willing to get on camera, it's so rare. We're working with like big brands and they run for the hills to the point where an MD that we've been working with, so Burke, I've never met him, right? Because every time we get a shoot day, you don't turn up. Because they're so scared of what people think.
It's not easy.
You guys are in a great position as well because you can do this and you can get your personality across and you can manoeuvre your business where you want it to go. Yeah. When you get to the corporate level, there's so much red tape.
We have the chat all the time saying, look, what's the line between creating content that's entertaining to actually people down with serious people?
Yeah.
That's my fear, is that we want to have a joke because end of the day we're looking to laugh. But
Yeah.
will someone look at it going, yeah, I like them, but I don't want to do business with them.
Yeah,
They're
do
not
I
serious
trust
people.
them?
That's why I think the corporate companies struggle with it, because their fear is people will laugh them out of the room.
100%.
Have you seen the Nationwide adverts recently where they're a corporate business, but they are literally taking the piss out of all of the other high street banks?
Yeah. Did you see PC World? They nailed it. They chucked the water over someone, they ran in the shop, locked the doors, and everyone was banging on the window. Like this, it's all user generated, it's funny, it's fun. And no matter whether you're corporate or you're not corporate, you're selling to humans, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we do so well with the companies we work with, because I've been on the tools and I understand how tradesmen buy and think and do business and what their problems are. It becomes really easy to communicate with them.
Where we've niched in with construction, because what we do can fit any trade in any job, but construction, as you know, is a different beast.
100%.
We know how they think, we know how it works, so we know what they want. If we try to do it for everyone, we'd fail.
So many people fail at what you guys are doing and what Lewis is doing and what we do. So many. I speak to them all the time, literally every call I have, and it's because they can't understand the language. Most people come at marketing and businesses selling into construction from an expert position, right? For example, they come from marketing companies come from a marketing stance. I'm industry.
You know what's going to make someone laugh, what's going to make someone cry, and what someone's going to sit there and think, yeah, he's right. That's the trust thing.
First day on site, you've got to be able to take the piss out of yourself.
Yep.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you don't belong in construction.
Do you know what the misconception is in construction? Anyone that sells into it, right? Us, you, anyone, it doesn't matter. And the contractors as well. They overcomplicate it. There's like 20 steps to get a phone call on a website, or your website's jargon and talks about the company. No one cares. No one gives a shit about you or I or anyone. If you go into Costa Coffee and say, can I get a latte? And they say, yeah, but do you know where our beans are? I don't give a shit. I've got to get out of it. I've got work. Do you know what I mean? That's just a bit about me, but I understand the game.
Talking about the game, this today.
Nice little segue in there.
Yeah. The rules are, we'll play normal ad, no golden point.
Are Chiquitas allowed?
Chiquitas are allowed.
Yeah.
Right. Loser will come up with a forfeit.
Showtime.
Oh! 1-0. So what's the number one anxiety, do you think, for your clients when they're making content? Is it on camera? What do they come to you for?
I think there's a couple. I don't think they know what to shoot. I don't think they know how to shoot. And they overthink that stuff. And the biggest issue I see right across the board with brands and contractors is their messaging's all over the place. They don't know who they're talking to. And they've usually got two personas. So a lot of the time, a contractor, for example, they're talking to homeowners and developers. Different conversations,
You know what?
different problems.
When you break it down like that, it's actually so simple because same as you, right? These blokes were labourers, I suspect the majority of them. They've gone on to build this business. They probably look in the mirror every morning and think, oh, what the fuck am I doing here? Marketing, messaging, branding, none of that has ever come into consideration because all they're worried about is getting it built on time, getting it built in budget, and what's the next project?
Yeah, man. And their hands are now forced, right? Because of the way social media is, content is. When I started, I was #1 on Google. That's how I started the brickwork company all those years ago. Them days are gone. Even if they find you online or if you were to recommend someone to me, I'm going to have a look at their website. I'm going to have a look at their social media.
We used to go in the yellow pages and be AAAA builders, didn't they? Like, but is it more our generation because we're the same age, or do you get like the youngsters coming through, or even like the older generation? What sort of age group?
The youngsters know they need to do it, but I think we're on the cusp of it completely changing. So my daughter's 16. They've grown up on social media, with cameras in their face. In 3 or 4 more years' time, they'll win. They'll clear up. They'll literally mop it all up. But what you've got now, in the space we're in right now, is big companies that they know they need to catch up. They know they need to get in front of people to increase revenue. And you've got this massive sea of people in the middle that have a company, they started up, it's all word of mouth, and they know that they need need to get on the content buzz. If you don't know what to shoot, what messaging is, who you're talking to,
It's the backbone of our business.
yeah.
But if you didn't, they've all got it in their head. They can do it.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
I'm not sure they can do it. I'm not sure they know how. Everyone that we talk to is like, I am completely overwhelmed with all the platforms. And what happens is, especially with contracting, if it's your business, what happens is you start a contracting business and you start Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. That is useless if you want developers. It's not B2B. Instagram, TikTok and Facebook are B2C platforms, right?
Project managers from these big tier ones will be on there.
Yeah. They don't do business on there.
Of course they
They don't
are.
do business on there. They scroll. Facebook, they scroll. They're in groups.
Family.
They're usually in groups or family. Instagram, they're looking at videos of cats and dogs jumping out of planes and shit. LinkedIn as well, bang on about all the time. It drives people insane, but it's where the business is done. I can get in front of anyone that you want to get in front of right now, and I can message them and speak to them. That's it. And if you create messaging and marketing that works with that, you're in the face.
The biggest lesson we learned was when we started doing content. We know we've got a good business and we've got a good product, but trying to get it in front of contractors and builders was impossible, because from 7 till 7 they're rushed off their feet.
100%.
You're not going to get them.
Yeah.
So by posting content, when the missus is sat there watching Love Island or Maths or whatever it is, they're flicking through, they're subconsciously like, oh yeah, he's right there, oh that's quite funny. Suddenly when that pain point becomes so far they need it fixed, they know where they're going to.
I'm really big on that. I'm really big on posting and getting in front of your clients on the platform they're on, and at the time that they are in front of their phones. I see a lot of our clients, you know, they start posting at 11 p.m. I'm like, why? Everyone's done, they're switched off for the day, they're in bed.
You can be brave with it as well.
That's where your guys are so lucky. You can be so nimble with it, because the companies that, again, the corporate ones, they can't. No. We've got corporate clients and big companies that they are so restricted to what they do. And with companies your size and you know, where we're heading, you do what you want.
You do what you want.
Like, be brave. Like,
I mean, we'll post something and go, oh, that didn't work.
Don't matter.
Exciting, mate. Let's go back to this. 1-1. So Danny's nickname, Lee, is the OLM.
What does that mean?
Horrible little man.
Oh, them.
Because he will do things like that to try and
Do
win.
you know what? My missus and all my kids, that's what they call me. You know, from Gavin and Stacey. They're like, oh, horrible little man.
You.
So Lee, so obviously what we do is more like founder-led sort of marketing, not influencer marketing. What's your view on pros and the cons of each, and why one bit's better than the other?
So we have represented talent previously. One of Helen's jobs in the city was representing talent and partnering talent with podcasts and so forth and so on. I think it's done. I think anybody can build a big Instagram following. Actually, we've had clients come to us, 3 million followers, 200,000 followers, that can't monetize their audience. Because what happens is they're selling to developers and builders, but yet their whole audience is full of other tradesmen that do what they do, right?
Yeah.
Now that audience is useless unless you've got a package that you can sell to them.
Yeah.
So what's happened is in construction, what everybody does is they set their business up and they create reels of what they do for work, which is fine, but they're on the wrong platform. They build a massive audience on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then they're going all over the country trying to get work. And for me, that's insane. I set Thames Valley Brickwork up to be the leader in my local area. And it's the same with what we're doing now, right? Like,
It's no different, right? What you've just said there is spot on. On the Tools boys, so we know the On the Tools boys for a friend. When they started that business model, posting funny building site stuff, they actually had to sit back. They've told us this. They had to sit there and think, how are we going to monetize it?
I'll shoot from the hip. I don't know them, and I know of them, right? And what happened is they've got the monopoly on the influencer stuff, right? So take a bricklayer, for an example, right? $250 a shift, something like that. Brands come along and give you £400 to do a 60-second video. They're going to take it. So what's happened is them and others have driven the prices down in influencer marketing. So now there's like 400 quid a video, 500 quid a video to put them in front of millions of people. So and now everyone's got an audience. That model's just, it's there. People are cottoning onto it. They're like, well, hang on a second. What's the real price of me doing this video? The landscape's changing.
And I think as well, the consumer is wisening up a little bit, because with like the founder-led stuff, exactly what you're doing, what we've done, you believe in what you're selling because it's your baby.
We teamed up with a couple of big influencers in the construction space, and I've said to them, stop taking people on. Stop saying yes to every deal, because what you're doing is you're losing trust in your audience. Your audience no one wants to be sold to, no one. That's why this sort of stuff works so well. But if you're taking on brand deals because you want an extra grand in your account and you've got 100,000 followers, you'll be down to 90, 80, 70 really quickly. No one wants to be sold to.
Also, from like a moral compass perspective as well, if you're going to go into a brand deal, it's got to align with who you are.
You've got to use the product. If you're endorsing an energy drink but you don't use it, what point?
That's why if you do want to buy a head paddle jacket, go to our website.
And it's funny because LinkedIn's a different platform, right? So you've got like top voices like Leo we spoke about earlier. There's a few others, Lewis and whatever. It's not really the influencer model. And actually that's something that's so important for anyone listening that wants to build a business, B2B. I had, when I built Thames Valley Brickwork, I started from scratch on LinkedIn. We'd done 3 million, we priced 3 million quid labour only in year one. I ended that business with 3,000 followers. That's it. And I had 2,000 on Instagram, but that's where the tradesmen hang out, right? So I'd get my bricklayers and odd carriers from Instagram, and then I'd get the contracts from LinkedIn. But you can have 200 people in your network, and if 5 of them buy your product time and time, or your service time and time again, you build a successful company. It's just this misconception that you need hundreds of thousands of people.
Dan got a post went viral, a couple of 100,000 views, which is massive with today's algorithm. 9 times out of 10, our views are 2,500, 3,000 max.
Most of our business is done on LinkedIn for us and our clients, right? The posts that I get 30, 40 likes, I get inquiries from. I had a post that had 6 likes, I got 3 inquiries. Forget those metrics. Who are you talking to and what are you saying to them? And if you're talking to the right people, I tell people, if you've got people in your network on LinkedIn that aren't going to buy your product, or they're not in your space, what's the point? Because every like's a share. It's changed a bit now, but that's the way it's always been. You know, Sandra, dry cleaners, liking my post, and her friend's a dog walker, and she's liking my post. All of a sudden, my posts are like way over there.
Yeah.
And they're not going to buy my server. What's the point?
Right, it's 2-1.
My serve.
Your serve.
I got ran into it. What'd you run into it for?
Ash versus Dan all over again, isn't it?
Mate, leave.
Yes!
Yeah. Keep running, boy. Keep running, boy. Game.
Bad loser, mate. No, we'll go again. We'll have another game, but it'll be a team.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll switch out.
A lot of people hung up on doing the perfect video.
Yeah.
But why do you think is relevant people just to crack on and get it done?
Consistency it wins every time, doesn't it? Because what happens is people create a week's worth of content, 2 weeks worth of content, and disappear for 6 months. Not only that, the algorithm's going to punish you for that as well. But so we've leveled up our content, right? So we've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I've done a bit of studio stuff as well for our website and for one of our packages. I was ill, man. I was ill. My little girl fell off a pony, broke her elbow. I really didn't want to be there, genuinely. And actually, we got all the
Real life stuff, isn't it?
And we got all the footage back. Some of the footage was for our new website, and one of the pictures on there looked terrible, but I'll put it up anyway. Like, it doesn't matter, does it? They're buying the way that I look, they're buying our service. Do you know what I mean?
People start into Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
Instagram isn't real.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's like LinkedIn, when you're trying to sell yourself, if people can get the genuine you out there, you've got to show
I think everyone,
shit days, not just the
everyone
good days.
thinks it's so final as well, man. Like, what the bit I'm not happy with on our site, I change it. Next time I'm in the studio, I'll do it again. Do you know what I mean? But just go. I can't stress it enough. Just create it, man.
Why do you think people chase perfect content?
Because they don't want to be judged. Construction's worse because you've got alpha males, they're in a male environment, everyone takes the piss, banter's the language, and they're scared of being judged. Like the hilarious ones that I've dealt with are the ones that are the most scared. I'll get my camera out and they all run.
So you struggle to get your constructor clients?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it is changing a bit now. I think everyone can see the value in it. Trying to get the 35 plus on camera is really difficult. They are still scared, but the ones that can face that and just do it anyway, they're the ones that gain traction and do well.
Although you put a video out there, although you might have hated it yourself, no one's going to remember it.
And that's why I'm really big on like company colours and stuff. They might not look at the post or read the post, but they know that that's me in a profile picture, right? When they need my service, I'm the first person that comes into their mind. And that's the game with content. It's not actually about what you post. It's always the ones when I'm talking to a specific person with a certain message that I get the inquiries and then do the business. It was just so caught up in going viral. And
so do you say genuine, rubbish, imperfect content's better than the polished stuff?
I think so. I think, do you know what it comes down to? Forget everything, it's messaging. If your messaging is right, what I would say to people is content is the end of the process, yeah? You create the content once you have the personas nailed, once you understand their problems, then you can start weaving that stuff into content. It will take half an hour to nail who you're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
And I say to people all the time, write a long list and write every problem your client suffers with, and every single person in the world has got problems they suffer with, right? For example, labour not turning up on time, right? Yeah. Developers struggle with that, and so do homeowners, right? Put a line and create content on that. Wherever there's a line, that speaks to both personas.
You just speak to someone, exactly. Well, look, mate, you're one set down, so let's try and make it perfect. Let's switch up teams, me and you versus...
I wouldn't say I'm happy to lose, but I'm very competitive.
Right, second set, let's go.
So I need to caveat what I've just said about just posting stuff. I'm a perfectionist by nature, right? So I want to play at a high level, I want it to be spot on and perfect. So what we discussed about just putting stuff out, I find quite difficult sometimes, but I do it anyway.
We're only human. We all make mistakes. I'm with you. I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I will sweat the small stuff too much. And Dan will be like, look, why? And I'm like, probably because I've got OCD, but also I think it just sets standards. We got a team of 10 now. This time last year, there was 3 of us. And if we're not setting the standards, what does that not only say to staff, but also to clients as well? If your marketing was shit and you didn't edit it correctly and you didn't put that little bit of je ne sais pas on it, what's everyone else going to think?
Yeah. So especially as a marketing agency as well, right? It's my bread and butter. That's what we do. We do it for ourselves and for other people, right? I've had some real realisations lately that I'm holding the business back. For us to scale this agency to where we know it can go and to do service at the level that we know we can do service to, then I've got to change some stuff. I can't hold on to everything. I can't. Like, I've got to delegate and I've got to step out of the way because in a minute, well, not in a minute, but previously I've been doing everything. I've been doing sales calls, editing, shooting, all of that stuff, and it's not scalable. When you've built something special and you know it works and you know it helps and you know it's a good product or service, it's so hard to let go.
Customer service was one bit that Dan and Andy, our business coach, identified that we were really failing on in the early days. We've now got a CX team. There's no way that Dan and I could perform at the level that they do. They are just on it. What
point of the business do you appoint them? Because then obviously you've got cash flow, you've got overheads. So at what point do you go, actually...
We're losing customers, it's expensive.
I've got a client in a minute, actually. He's got massive cash flow issues because he's grown so quickly. We've got him so much work. I've got another one that's got a massive bottleneck with staff. We scaled him. We've done exactly what he's asked, but now he can't deliver.
But that is actually existential crisis. That's a great problem, but if you get it wrong,
100%.
you'll start from scratch again.
100% bust. And having conversations around, should we just stop the marketing? Well, if you stop the marketing, you've got to start that from scratch again.
Yeah, you can't stand back on it.
Don't work like that. Something I want to add about agencies, so anyone listening to this has got a construction business. If someone comes in and promises you X amount of leads in X amount of time, they're talking shit and run the other way. Because I have no idea when your clients are ready to buy. What I can do is put you in a position when they are ready to buy, you're in their mind, you're at the forefront of their decision making. That's the game. That's why everyone needs to be consistent, right?
If our percentages remain the same, then we're happy. If all of a sudden we've got half the leads and then half what we expected is qualifying, our marketing's broke.
Yeah. I'm sure you drive it in your business. We're massive it in our business, and it's something that construction's pretty alien on like marketing. It's data.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Our business lives and dies by that. We will not make a decision without the data.
With Meta ads, it's all about the data, and what we say to people is do a testing campaign for 3 months, test as many assets as you can, many different types as you can, many different hooks, headlines, get the data, and then scale what works and lose what doesn't and put it into a scaling campaign. And what most people do, from what I can gather from all the clients that we speak to, potential clients, is they just say, yeah, well, give us £1,000 a month and we'll get you X amount of leads. And it's like, where's the data? Like, what are you scaling? That's hit and hope. Yeah. That's like me with paddle, do you know what I mean? That's literally like...
It's never perfected.
Never. No. Because the industry changes, the game changes, what people want changes, content changes.
Never finished.
Here's a question for you though, right? Because this is something that we struggle with internally quite often, saying the same thing over and over again.
On camera?
Yeah. It just feels like we get to a point where you're like, everyone's going to be bored of hearing about using subbies long term, or they can drive your vans, or they don't need to raise invoices, or we can tell them what to do and when to do it, whatever. There's no time limit. Do you experience that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, 100%. Yeah. All I bang on about is messaging. The only thing to combat that is make it more interesting with behind the scenes stuff, right? Because your message is your message. You just got to find different ways to dress it up.
So if someone comes to you and they're a brickwork firm, how do you get their messaging?
It comes down to clients. We'll sit down and we'll do a marketing map and we'll be like, tell us everything. Tell me exactly where you want to go. And then we get tactical, man. The content takes care of itself because it comes off the back of the messaging, do you know what I mean? It's the only place to start. Messaging every time and then content.
Touch the net, we win.
So, I'm interested to know what is the biggest issue that your potential clients face. So I always ask my potential clients, what's the biggest issue you face right now? So
I don't think it's dissimilar to the answer that you get, mate. When somebody comes to talk to us, they don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
They've been drawn into the myths that circulate the industry, and you've had your own contracting firm, so you know it. Time limit, subbies can't use vans, can't tell them what to do, when to do it, training, uniform, all of that sort of gum. What we struggled with in the early days was because all of the payroll companies, Hudson's, Marquee, whoever it might be, all sing from the same hymn sheet that you can't do this, you can't do that. Suddenly you've got two little shits like me and him turning up on LinkedIn saying, oh yeah, you can. Construction is the best industry, right? Because it's salt of the earth. It's the whites of your eyes, a handshake, old school mentality. But they've all had their fingers burned.
And what happens, they get the accountant on board, because like we're busy, it's like, right, I've dealt with that. I trust they're dealing with it. Yeah. And that's where you don't know who to believe.
They're cynical.
I think that's when I was contracting, the problems I had with accountants. Honestly, like telling me what I can and can't buy. I went through probably 4 or 5.
Accounting and the problem that we fix aren't the same. Using subbies long term is a legal issue. The only time it becomes an accounting issue is because if HMRC were to find that they were employees, you got backdated tax, it becomes a tax issue.
Yeah.
All we've ever done in our business is tell the truth, provide the facts around how firms can use subbies long term, give them the confidence.
What we're true about as well is that we're true when we don't know the answer. We don't go, well, I think it's this, you should be all right. We go, look, that's not us. We just know this. If you want to ask questions around tax, CIS, we know the answers, but you better speak to an expert, because then we know what we're talking about. We're not going to be challenged on it because we're experts in this field. Everything outside of it, we're honest enough to say, look, go and speak to them.
How many times have we been pulled into health and safety conversations?
Health and safety.
And I'm like, look, it's not my bag.
Yeah.
We've developed niches, and you want to be known for one really good thing.
Without a doubt.
We talk about bullshit in our industry all the time with the payroll companies and everything that they spin, but you've got these Gen Z millennials coming through, creating lead generation and trying to guarantee firms leads. How are you?
It's the reason we're starting YouTube. And actually, it's the reason that I started Level Up Media. Is the reality of it. I got stung when I was on the tools. Everyone I've spoken to has been stung, and it's time to start to show people what good marketing actually looks like. Doing it in front of them on camera, do you know what I mean?
You fixing that problem is the same reason why I started HardHats, because the industry was in a mess. Nobody knows what to believe. And actually, it's not that difficult once you break it down.
It's a trust thing. And if anyone listening to this is struggling with gaining the trust of their ideal client, right, once they've nailed who they want to work with, testimonials, mate. I'm telling you, they are absolutely popping off at the minute. Testimonials is so easy because it's you asking your client, so how did you find working with us?
Our world is a bit of Fight Club, so we don't get too many people putting their hands up saying they want to give testimonials, but we have got ambassadors, and they come on here.
Yeah, well, this is a testimonial, do you know what I mean?
And it's been amazing to get in, to understand how they feel about us by just having a conversation, because you can then build out your business around.
So most people don't ask questions. Most people do not take inventory of their business. That's why people struggle, right? Yep. If you ask your clients what's working and what's not, you get to improve it, right? And improve the business.
Our business is shaped off the back of client feedback, because I've got all of these amazing and weird and wonderful ideas that I want to implement, but if they're not going to use them and they're not going to buy them, then...
What we do now is, rather than say, you know, this is our package, what I'll do is go, where are you at? Yeah. What are you doing? And what do you want to do? Yeah. And then, we're the expert in what we do, right? So we then say, right, you need to do that, and that, and it'll move the needle for you.
Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, without a doubt. It is Build-A-Bear, yeah, great way of putting it.
The future of socials, the future of marketing will remain being video. Yeah. Because of AI, it's a huge opportunity, but it's also a threat. So these conversations are going to be the only thing that continue to build trust. Yeah. And like you say, building in public, opening up the YouTube channel, showing people inside the shop window.
For me, that's what it's about, right? So when I started Thames Valley Brickworks YouTube, I never wanted to be YouTube famous. I didn't. I had no interest in it. But there's a lot of influencers in the space that was, I'm earning, couple of quid a block, I'm earning 600 quid today. And I'm thinking, either I'm doing this wrong, or you lot are talking shit, do you know what I mean? So I started that to show what it was actually like to build a construction business. If you've got it like business-wise, it's not for everyone, man. No. We talk to a lot of people that really want to set up, and then they get into the nuts and bolts of, like, it's not fast cars and nice holidays. It's difficult, man. It's really hard, especially contracting. Like, it's so hard.
Why don't we carry this on with a cup of coffee?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and a sandwich.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Don't think we're running Ash versus Dan back after that, mate.
What's the score? Did it draw, was it?
No, look, you won. Well done. Do you know what? I'm really glad rain stopped play, because that was good fun.
It's brilliant. I wanted to work from my laptop anywhere in the world for years. For years, I'll go to work and be like, I need to remotely, right? Get off the tools and work remotely. And now I've got it. I find myself not leaving the house. Like, I'll go to the
isolated.
Gym. And I train in the mornings like 6 till 7, but from 7 till the evening, I'm just at work on my laptop. Do you know what I mean? I don't go out enough, and it's been brilliant. I love it.
Thank you for coming down. Massive insight into what you are doing for it's just good for the industry. What is the future for you and Level Up then, mate?
I've got some massive plans, and every business I've been involved in, I've always built it with a vision to sell it, right? I'd like the option to exit at some point. My youngest daughter's 8. The time she's 18, it'd be nice to be in a position where it was worth a couple of quid and we can have it as an option. But ultimately, people will laugh listening to me say it, but I want to help as many construction businesses as possible. The game is fundamentally broken, like with marketing and contractors and brands. But next year, 2026, I want to help 100,000 construction businesses improve their marketing and win better clients and position their business where they want it to go. For us, we're still very passionate about helping the trades. So that's what our YouTube's going to be like, the long form.
That's your core, isn't it?
I get it. I've been on the scaffold for 20 years, man. I get it, do you know what I mean? And then we're going to help brands get in front of people that buy their products. I talk construction. I know how trades do business and buy. And there's a disconnect at the minute. And
what do you want our house? First thing what we do, or your missus does, goes, what's on Instagram. So if you're a construction company and go, well, I'm doing this, that's the shop window now. It's not the Yellow Pages is long gone, but you know what I mean?
There's a misconception as well that, oh, I don't need a website, I've got Instagram. I disagree. You've got to send these people somewhere. If you're a business,
100%.
and you've got lead generators or you're creating content, it's not like creating content, but if you're dropping content and your website looks amateur, you've got no idea.
Mismatch. And if you want to stay, like, say, small, but if you're happy doing what you're doing, fair enough. But if you want to level up...
Yeah, I think even the smaller guys now, from the ones we've spoken to a lot of them, but I think even they're seeing the pinch. They're seeing the pinch. People that aren't on socials, people that are on socials that haven't got a website, especially if you're B2C, what we do is we help position your company as the prize. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like, we help position you as the go-to in what you do in your area. And that's it. When they're ready, they want to use you. And that's the game, man. If you are looking to start your content creation journey, or you're looking to get in people's faces, or work's a bit quiet or whatever, you don't have to start like this. No. Like, this is daunting, do you know what I mean? Like, unless you've done a few reps, this is difficult. Get your phone out, put it on the side, and film yourself working. Don't talk to camera, don't worry about that. Or be behind it. So do a walk around of the site, but don't be in front of the camera. Just be behind it.
Do you know what? You trigger something on my mind. Dust sealants.
Yeah.
South Coast. I've never seen his face. Yeah. I know his hand, because he's got a gun. Yeah. He's if I had the money and I wanted perfect seeing in my bath,
you do it.
I'd ring him up.
That stuff works. Yeah. First they laugh, then they tell everyone, no, then they accept, then they tell everyone how they met you. And that's been my experience, where everyone laughed when I started YouTube. Then everyone was like, oh, well, that's all right. Let's do some nice houses. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And moving forward, then your business, you don't want to grow. You're going to focus just on the contractors, or you're going to go more towards the construction as an ecosystem?
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, all of it. Genuinely, if you sell into construction and you sell to tradesmen, or you sell into the game, like, let's chat. I can help.
I mean, where can people find you, mate?
LinkedIn, primarily, but we're on Instagram as well, and we're just about to start on YouTube. Something I want to add, the crux of everything that we've spoken about today is, if you are looking to start a company, or you have one, and you need to get onto social media, don't do what everybody else does. Everyone else goes, I need to start social media, so I'm just going to start TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. TikTok and Instagram are useless if you're trying to get in front of site agents or construction directors, QSs. Yeah. They're no good. If you want to move the needle quickly, where are they? They're doing business over on LinkedIn. What you've got to do is do 2 posts a week on LinkedIn and a couple of outbound messages.
With LinkedIn, there's such a small percentage of content creators that actually the barrier to entry is really low.
Well, the last thing, something that I'm so passionate about, is leading with service. I'm in recovery, we haven't touched on that, I'm 7 years sober. In construction, that was a superpower. So when I started on LinkedIn, I spoke about that stuff, and I spoke about my journey. But everything that we do in recovery is around service. So it's around helping others, right? So it's around reaching out, make sure everyone's all right. How can I help you? What do you need? And I try and practice that in my business. We're going onto YouTube, and I want to show people what good marketing looks like. I want to fix their marketing on the spot when I go out to see them. And I want to help. Off the back of that, inquiries come in.
You can actually sleep at night because you know you're building a business that's got integrity.
And in an industry where everyone is out for themselves, and everyone online is talking about themselves, 25 years in the game, all that. If you show up and say, what do you need? Everyone's like, Hey, what do you mean, what do I need?
And let's face it, being a business owner is a lonely place. No one ever asks how you are. What do you need?
I'm big on the mental health stuff. Listen, I've had a journey on that, and I'm here now because I asked for help, and I still seek help. I've asked you guys what the story is today with what you guys are up to, and do you know what it is? I just want to learn and help. And off the back of that, everything will take care of itself. That's been my experience.
Success becomes a byproduct.
Literally, I hope.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Ah, mate, what a pleasure, honestly.
Mate, thank you.
Top
Love it.
Thank you very much.